One material that I chose to evaluate for accessibility is a PowerPoint that it's an older PowerPoint, but I used to use it for back to school night or orientation night for families. It was really hard to find something that I would use in kindergarten. We don't really use PowerPoint, many different things. It's a little different. So I just chose something that I use with the parents. So the first thing to check for accessibility is by checking the outline view. So I'm going to go to View, Line, and when I did this, I noticed that most of my slides does have the text there that can be read. The text that's in each slide. There were a few, though, that did not have the text. So that one had the text. If you go down, this one, so kid writing, didn't have the text even though I had text in here. I was trying to figure out why that would be. So it must be whatever type of format I used. I would just have to go back and change that, and same with math, because it's not showing up on here, but I have a whole list of different things on the actual slide. So those were two that I noticed, along with the specials slide. I would probably have to format that in a different way in order to be able to see what each one was, because it's not showing up in the outline. Everything else seems to be pretty good and have everything that I need in the outline view. Those were just the few that if I didn't click on the outline view, I would have never realized that that was an issue. Another thing to check for accessibility is the reading order. This is one I didn't realize either, and when I went to do it, I was actually kind of shocked. So when I click on the first one, and I tab, it works. It goes from the top down to the bottom. But most of my other slides, when I do that, it actually starts at the bottom, then goes to the top, and then down again. So it doesn't go in the correct order. So if someone was trying to use this with a reader, they wouldn't have it in the right order. And that's for most of them that I checked. They start at the bottom and go up. So I would have to fix that in pretty much all of my slides. Another way to check for accessibility in PowerPoint is for the images and clip art or shapes to have alternative text. This is another thing I was not aware of. That you could even do. But if you notice on the first image I have on the cover of my PowerPoint, is just random number, letters, combination that would make absolutely no sense to someone who is using a reader on here. And this one doesn't even have any. This one does have a close-up of a dog, but it doesn't really necessarily explain what the picture is. So I would have to change that. And the same with this one, the bus just has random numbers and letters. And if I go down here, same with this image, I would have to explain what the image is so that someone looking through this would be able to understand. Now this one does have one of them, but I would want to clarify and fix a few of those as well. Another way to check for accessibility is to check for lists, and I have a few bulleted areas. Not every slide is bulleted, but I do have some, and I don't have them numbered. I just have regular bullets. There are some slides that I could maybe number for ones that might be more important. Most of these are just general information though, so regular bullets will be fine. As I look at my slides with the color, I do see some things that I would change. I feel like blue on blue is going to be very difficult to read for someone who has trouble seeing different colors. Even the red on blue is kind of very difficult to read as well. So those are some things that I would definitely change. I know I have something highlighted here. One thing that I didn't realize, when I did virtual teaching a couple years ago, I had a parent reach out to me and ask me if I could not highlight things in the email, and that she was colorblind and it was very hard to read the text that was highlighted, which I never realized. So that's something I might want to take out, as the highlighting as well. So overall, with my PowerPoint slide, there's definitely some things I would need to change in order to make it more accessible. Most things in general are pretty decent. It's just little tiny things that I would tweak, like the pictures and the color of the font, and maybe even the color of the background to go with the font so it doesn't blend in, it sticks out a little bit more. The other material that I'm going to evaluate is a website that I created. I actually created this with another grad class that I took, but I could use it in my kindergarten class. I haven't been able to use it yet. I would probably want to do some tweaks to it, but one thing to start with is the heading. I have the title page, and I have some headings here at the top of different parts of the website that they can click on. Now, if they do click on Math Games, one thing I notice is I don't have a heading at the top other than that little tiny heading to click into the area, so it might be beneficial to have a bigger heading above here that says Math Games. I also have headings for each category, so I have, in addition to just the words, I do have the shapes, just because it's easier for kindergartners to find since most of them can't read yet. And I just have that for each category so they could find games easily. Like I said, it's easier to have them find it with a picture and an image than trying to find the word that begins with a certain letter, because some kindergartners still, even at this point of the year, struggle with identifying letters in general. So the only problem with using the emojis and pictures to go along with the text is it might mess up the reading, the text reading software, and it might confuse someone who's trying to use the website, so that would be a drawback, I guess, with that. If I go to another category, this one I would do the same thing. I think I would put a bigger heading up above here, just to show what it was. This one I do have a heading here for what read alouds there are, so that is accessible in this tab part. And this one as well, the videos, I do have math videos and I have it by category. I probably would change up a little bit because it seems, I don't know, like very small areas here, then it goes big, so it could be kind of confusing to navigate. And then it kind of jumps into counting, like it doesn't really stand out because the videos are so big above it. I feel like for the most part my color is decent enough. The only thing I would change is maybe making some of it a little darker, like the font here is a little bit light with the green background. It would just make it a little darker. It is keyboard accessible. If I click the tab button, you can see down in the bottom left hand corner it'll tell you what the game is that it's on. So it goes through each game in each section. So it'll go through the shape ones first, then it goes down to the other categories, so it does keep it by category, which is pretty accessible, and it also is easy to navigate as well. So all the images I have on here go directly to a link of either a game or a video of some sort. So I don't even know if it's possible to do alternative text for a website. Overall, I feel like this website is pretty easy to, pretty accessible. The only thing I am not sure of and would want to look into and try to figure out more is if there is a way to do alternative text when I link, put a link directly when you click on an image. I'm sure there's a way to do that, but I didn't really see anything in the guidelines, so that's something I would want to look into. I also feel like it's easy to navigate with the different headings up here. And if you're not using a text reader, just to navigate, 5 and 6 year olds to navigate, it's easy to find. Math games, you look for the shapes at the top. Imagination stations, you look for the light bulb. The books, you look for the stack of books. And it's just easier for them to find things using those images, and same like I said with the different math games, knowing what kind of math games that they're playing based on the pictures in each section.